Guys, I want to get loud all of a sudden.
Do it.
Sorry, I'm gonna.
It's you. I knew it was coming.
I'm sorry, guys,
Can't
but I
hold 'em
need
back.
to do that.
It is. You feel like Poseidon chucking that bugger down in the water.
Sucking that bugger. Did you butt out that deer?
I did not butt out that deer, but the next one I get, okay, it's getting its butt out.
Is that little Stevie out here in the back?
Drobop. Bow drop, I'm sorry. Drobop. Hello. Stay tuned. I'll be back after my seizure.
Every little chipmunk that was running around, everything's dead quiet, and I went like that. Just happened.
I saw what is in essence a nature-gasm.
All right, guys, welcome back around the Sonic Campfire. You're listening to the Rutten River Pursuit podcast. There it goes.
I started it.
Sonic Campfire. Sounds good. So let's check in and see who we got with us tonight. I'm Ryan.
I'm Steve.
I'm Will.
And on the line.
I'm Aaron. I'm playing the part of Uncle Buck.
Very
That's
cool.
That's a tough
Yeah,
seat
good
to
luck.
fill.
Shoes.
Good luck with that. Yeah. Yeehaw.
Can you give us a yeehaw? Can you get loud for us for a second, Aaron?
Yeah!
That's pretty good.
I bet you just brought a tear to his eye.
That'll make Uncle Buck proud right there.
Yeah,
That's
buddy.
good stuff. Fellers,
Couldn't hold him back.
you know what we're going to do tonight?
What's that?
We are going to end up talking, since we got Aaron on the line, we're going to do some talking about trapping.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to bogart the mic
No,
or
go
steal
ahead.
anybody's thunder.
Please do.
But I got to tell you, boys, I did a little bit of trapping myself here
Did you?
in the last couple of days. And I know that's unexpected. You guys didn't think I was a
No.
trapper,
I had
but
no clue.
turns out
Renaissance man.
about 3 days ago, I woke up. My house was a little chilly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll cut right to the chase. Furnace wasn't quite working
It was
right.
delicious. The chili part.
And upon doing a little bit of troubleshooting, turns out my furnace is just a big chipmunk trap.
No.
Really?
Oh, yeah, we got one.
Really?
Oh, we got one good. No, it just it got into the exhaust, into the vent.
Yeah.
And worked his way down into the exhaust fan. And,
Did you
he was a little more upset about it than we were when the fan kicked on, I think. But
Did you breast it out?
the fan actually did most of the work for me. But yeah, turns out once you remove Alvin from the furnace, it fires right back up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
What's the going rate for chipmunk hide nowadays?
that'd cost you about $30 extra. Now that was just a little anecdotal story.
You
but
self-diagnosed that. I don't
Well,
know that I could go down there and be like, "Yep, found it.
I called
It's
my
chipmunk."
brother. My brother's a HVAC guy.
Oh, that's
nice.
bad.
And he ran me through a couple of things. And basically, we determined that the exhaust.
Was one of those check the exhaust for a chipmunk stuck in it?
That's like step 32. I don't know if you knew that. He's like, well, clearly this isn't a problem. There's only one thing it could possibly be.
Yeah.
Chipmunk in the exhaust fan. No, we
You'll
just
have that.
we were able to rule out a few things, and the fact that we weren't getting any ignition from
the rear.
the igniter, and the propane wasn't coming in. None of that stuff kicks on until after the exhaust runs and it clears and makes sure it can vent. So,
Smart.
oh, it makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, only one thing to do when the exhaust fan's not running, that's take it off and find out what's jamming it.
Oh my gosh.
Apparently.
It was a chipmunk.
Do they make that in a Glade scent? Toasted chipmunk?
Toasted chipmunk.
That's a holiday flavor.
It's the holiday blend.
Limited time.
I like that. No, I think we were fortunate enough, though. I mean, with as cold as it's been, and
Yeah.
we can get into some of that if y'all want to, but it's been frigid.
Insanely cold.
And I think we were lucky in the fact that it must have only happened within about 12, 36 hours prior.
Oh.
So there wasn't any odors
Would you carbon date
to
it?
the mess. I didn't carbon date.
Autopsy revealed time of death.
I'm still waiting on the forensic report to come back, but I was making some assumptions, rudimentary assumptions,
Yeah.
based on the size of the larva of the bot flies.
Yeah, nicely done. Well done, Ryan.
Thanks. So my point being, that was a bit of an anecdotal story there to really kick off this idea that I really want to start trapping.
Yeah.
You know, and it's always been something that's interested me. Bunch of family members that I've got that live like north central part of the state, like coal region, they do a lot of trapping. But I just never had an opportunity to get into it, and I want to.
Yeah.
So, good news, boys. We got Aaron on the line, and I'm going to pick his brain.
He's new to trapping, though, right? How much trapping have you done?
So I'm very new to it. I actually started last year, and there was only 2 weeks left in the season, so it was a quick start and a quick finish. I did end up with 2 coons and 2 possums. I was going for canines, but I didn't get any of them.
But what is the season, Aaron? How long is it?
It's pretty long. I don't know exactly what day it comes in. I think it's in October. I think it's near the end of October. Most of it goes out, I believe, in February, and then the last thing to go out is beaver. Beaver trapping's till I think almost March or into March.
Okay.
You got beaver up there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. My buddy Adam Nickel just got his first. He kind of taught me a lot of the stuff that I'm learning, and my friend Myron as well. Myron and Noah got 62 muskrats in 3 days.
Whoa!
This week.
Wow.
So they're
Wow.
Jeez. And was that like body traps or footholds? See, I'm trying to pretend like I know a little bit, but I know that that's a valid question, right?
It's got to be.
most of them. I think they caught in water in conibears, 110 conibear traps. They just they find the huts and you find their swimways. Areas they're swimming, they use the same like paths underwater, and you set a conibear trap. And what they do is they don't see it, and they just swim right through it. And there's 2 prongs, and it senses the pressure, and it clamps on their whole body and kills them instantly.
Right. So that's
It's like a body kill trap.
okay. Versus what you traditionally would think of as a foothold, like if you ever see videos of like the coyotes and stuff.
They do make really small footholds for them too. Places you'd set them would be like maybe on top of the hut, or maybe like a hole they're using to come up on land or come up out of the ice. You could probably maneuver a little foothold around something like that. Their food. They have like little food caches, little food beds where they like eat a lot of their vegetation and stuff. That'd be a place you could set up a small foothold for them as well.
And I think
And there's
people
like float sets too.
people would really be surprised, I think, to learn like how wide the range is for muskrats, and they're everywhere. Well,
Oh yeah, they're one of the nicest furs too.
yeah, and they use like a slide, right? Like what I would think of as like an alligator slide. Don't they sometimes getting into the water?
Like belly slide down?
Yeah, they have really little beavers. Beavers make real big slides,
Maybe that's something.
and otters too.
Just listening a little bit, like having that knowledge of how animals operate in the winter and acquire food, it's got to make you a better person, a better hunter, you know?
Certainly. I mean, your woodmanship skills gotta be on.
Absolutely.
So, Aaron, if I called you up tomorrow and said, I just got my whatever it is.
When he calls you up tomorrow.
When I call you tomorrow and I say, I got my fur taker's license or trapper's license, whatever secondary endorsement I've got to get from the government.
Yeah, PA Game Commission.
Yeah, from those guys. When I call you up and say I want to start trapping, what's the first question you're going to ask me?
What do you want to catch?
I have no idea. What is there?
You got to have an idea.
I have no idea.
Think about
like,
it.
what is there? What is there to trap?
You want a predator?
I don't care.
If it was warmer, the best thing to start trapping would be raccoons. Raccoons are relatively easy to catch. They're very abundant. There's a lot of different traps you can use for them. DPs are really cool. They're way less work than like a foothold where you have to bed the trap and dig the hole and all that. DPs, they look like almost big, long mouse traps. And you put a little bait at the bottom. You can put a little scent up on the rim. And you actually just stake it into the ground, or you can loop it around the tree and stake it into the ground. And they just stick their hands in there. They smell the food, and they just it's what they call it. A DP means dog proof, because like a dog can't step in it, or it can't really get. It has to have something with little paws that can reach in, and it's almost like a handcuff. It just snaps on their hands. They're kind of stuck there.
It's a fancy Mexican finger trap for a raccoon.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah,
I got you. I got
That's
you.
perfect explanation.
I thought they were Chinese. Yeah.
They're made in China.
Yeah, I think it is Chinese though.
Either way, it's
It's a different nationality.
well, yeah. Maybe they both make them. I don't know. So after
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
I like to call them trash pandas.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard that term. Yeah,
It's hilarious.
the raccoons, trash pandas.
Yeah. Didn't you ever?
Yep.
What?
Didn't I ever what? Didn't you ever watch Guardians of the Galaxy?
No.
They call Rocket a trash panda. Is that good? No.
All right.
That's bad.
I'll take your word for it, bud.
It's fine.
So after I trap a trash panda, what do I do with it? So I come up on this raccoon. This thing's in the DP trap, stuck in the DP.
Okay.
What do I do? With it?
It's probably going to be in the tree that you chained it to.
hopefully.
And pretty irritated, I would imagine.
Feet up in the tree. You walk up to him, depending on what you like to do. I mean, you can take a little picture of him. I kind of like to take a picture of him.
Or a little video.
And, you got to carry your sidearm.
Okay.
I have a little 22, just 22 long. It's a revolver. It's got a Crimson Trace laser sight on it. I had my first skunk encounter this year. That was the first thing I caught this year.
Oh,
No
I
kidding.
had no idea what to do with it.
and you would.
I walked up on it. It was quite windy that day, and I was trying to get a lung shot, and I ended up being downwind, but I had the open lung shot. I shot it, and it sprayed, which I was told they don't spray if you shoot them in the lung, and it was going in my direction and into my mouth. So I hit the deck, and I went back upwind of it and saw that it was going to expire, so I went and checked my other traps while it was.
Aaron, do you do anything as far as trying to sell the furs?
I haven't really got into it that deeply.
Okay.
I mean, I got 6 traps out right now. If you're trying to make money, you have miles of trap lines. Like you have hundreds of stuff.
But the way I understand it, like
I hobby trap. I want the furs. I just want to have like one of every fur. I'm trying to like collect them.
Oh, cool.
Gotcha.
So,
and you're tanning them yourself then?
Any doubles. I help skin them. Like I said, my buddy Myron's been showing me that. He has a nice fur shed, and we skin them and stuff. So anything that I have doubles of, I just give to him to get tanned because he does sell a lot of his furs.
Very
So
cool.
right now I just trying to collect. What do I got? I got a raccoon. What do I got for lawyer? I got a coyote, a gray fox, a raccoon, a possum, and a muskrat. So I need a red fox and a bobcat are the 2 major things I'm after right now.
And the reason I asked that was the way I understand it, the National Fur Traders Association, or whatever that would be, that you can send your furs off to get them, figure out what the price would be and sell them through them. Like they have acceptable limits as far as like the hole and the size of the hole for where you dispatch the animal and all that stuff.
Is that
like,
NAFTA?
NAFTA?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep. They and the prices depend on the size. There's like different sizes. Like a 4X coon is a really big coon. Like fetch more money than like a smaller one, like a 2X or a 3X. So the sizes, some of the colors, like the more rare colors, like a cross fox would be worth a lot more than just a regular red fox. There's all kinds of jazz.
That's a whole new world for me, and
Oh, it
for
is.
all of us. you
Yeah.
know. We just don't.
For sure, me too.
Yeah, we just don't do it. I don't know why. Just never had the.
So
It's the one thing, right?
yeah, was this? Did you start this as a way to kind of keep hunting during the off season, Aaron?
But actually, I had someone tell me something that I found to be super interesting and kind of like got me really interested in it. They were like, yeah, everybody loves to hunt. Like, we all rifle hunt. That's fun. And you got to be, 100 to 200 yards, like, near the animal to shoot with a rifle. Then people like to archery hunt because of the challenge. Okay, now you're talking maybe really good guys, 50 yards. I mean, I don't like to shoot more than 30. You're talking about 30 or even the longbow kill I had. Now you're talking you got to be within 15 yards.
Yeah.
And then he's like, trapping your animal, the thing you're after, has to place their foot on a 1 inch by 2 inch pan.
Yeah.
So I thought about that for a minute. I was like, that's kind of incredible. I mean, you're talking the only way you're getting that animal is if it steps its foot on a little pan. So that's kind of like the ultimate closeness, and have to really know that animal and know where it's going and what it's doing. And that kind of really sparked my interest. That was pretty cool.
Absolutely.
So walk us through how you make that decision where to place the trap so that you have the best odds of that animal putting its foot on that 1 by 2 inch pan.
Just
The first thing I did
take a
was
fox.
I tried to read as much as I could. I found a really good book called Predator Trapping Theories and Techniques. It's by Scott Welch. I picked that up at Trapper Paul's. He had a couple books in there. It helped me a lot. That's kind of what I got my basics off of. There's some things that they just like to do. Canines like outside corners, like of a field or a wood lot or whatever. They travel on the outside, and they really like outside corners. Like, they won't follow an inside corner. There's no reason. It's like wasted effort to follow that square. So they cut that square off when they're traveling. So I try to find a lot of outside corners that are really good. They're just like dogs. I don't know if you take a male dog that's not neutered.
Yeah.
You take them for a walk, they constantly piss on things.
Yeah.
and it's usually higher things, like a clump of grass is sticking out a little higher, or a tree, or a stop sign, or like the fire hydrants. It's not because it's yellow. It's because it's sticking out.
Oh,
they're
man.
walking on the edge of if they're walking on the edge of the sidewalk and there's no features, and then there's a fire hydrant, that's something sticking up. They want to mark that territory. They're trying to, anything that they can pee on, they think they're claiming, and they think that it's theirs. So you can look for things like that too, because canines are wild dogs. Foxes and coyotes do the same thing. They mark their territories because they don't want to come in contact with each other and fight and risk injury or anything. They're trying to base everything off the scent, so then it's less confrontation.
That's interesting.
That's
I
what
never
Ryan-
thought of it that way.
Ryan does that with our ice cream sandwiches.
Yeah. There's like a corner, the outside corner of the freezer.
Yeah.
Is,
I pee all over.
Ryan's marked it. This is my ice
It's
cream.
real
area.
musty.
And here Steve thought it was painted yellow.
The set that I caught the coyote in this year was a hay set. A hay set works. You find a lower cut field, and you pile up a giant, couple leaps of hay. So as soon as that coyote goes in that field, it's the first thing it sees is, oh, that's weird. That clump of grass is a lot bigger than all the other grass in this field. So it's
Okay.
it's a visual attraction at first. And then a hay set, you set more than one trap. You can set 2 or 3. I only set 2 because I set a log on the north side and a log on the south side, so they won't go over the log to check it out. They want the open areas.
Then I had the east and the west set with one trap each. And I used Bridger number 2 footholds. They're dogless and they have a night latch. Then I saved the pheasant carcass that we didn't pluck and cooked the whole thing. I took the breast out of it because I kind of shot it up. I put a whole frozen carcass of a pheasant underneath it. And then you pile all the hay on top, and I added a little bit of red fox urine on top. So the visual is immediately the highness of the hay. It's higher than anything. They want to check it out, and they want to, go investigate it. Then there's the bait underneath, and then the fox pee too. They compete with foxes. Coyotes and foxes really don't like each other. The coyotes tend to run them out. So if they see something, there's a red fox here, and he's killing our food. He got a pheasant here and he buried it. So it's just like the triple whammy. They really want to go check that out.
Okay.
See, and that's what's neat about this is you really got to understand the mindset of your prey in this case, and you gotta fool them. I like it.
They're extremely smart. They're probably the smartest thing that you could hunt, trap, go after in PA. Coyotes are no joke. They're very smart.
And you said that you had one of those hanging on the wall. Now you've told us how you got it. Well, I was going to ask, what method you used because, and correct me if I'm wrong, although I don't believe I am. If you were to use a snare to try to catch a coyote, there's a whole nother certificate. You have to actually get a certification to be able to do any snare trapping in Pennsylvania. Right?
Really?
Correct.
If you purchase your fur bearer's license to do some trapping, you can't set snares unless you have an additional some certification.
What's the difference with the snare? Why? What's that special?
The snares, the success rates are a lot higher. The reason you need to have the class is because it's a kill. It's going to kill them. And it's not like these footholds where if you catch the neighbor's dog, that's why there's rules on checking traps too. I have to check them every 24 hours.
Okay.
Because I could have the neighbor's dog in my trap, and then I got to let it go. So the foothold does 90. I don't know the exact. I would say high 90% that it's not going to do any damage at all.
It just holds it in place.
Most of the damage, if you get damage, it's the animals doing the damage, not the trap. You'll have coyotes that'll chew their own leg off to try to get out of the trap if they're mean enough. But a regular dog will sustain no damage to its paw from a foothold, and you can just go up. I mean, as long as it's a nice dog, pet it and calm it down and let it go.
Yeah, and I've actually seen some video of guys that were releasing fox and coyote when they weren't the intended species. Actually, one time I saw a wolf video that they were trying to trap coyotes and they caught a wolf. And yeah, that was the one where they used a
sheet of plywood or something. Boy, that thing was fired up.
Yep.
I actually saw a video one time. A guy had released a coyote. He was trapping for fox. Caught a coyote. They weren't in season or something like that. He used one of those little kids swimming pools, like the plastic swimming pools that you can buy at Walmart.
Yeah.
Okay.
He used one of those where they basically just turned it over on top of it and then just pulled the one paw out with the trap and released it and then got the heck out of Dodge quick while the coyote came out from under it.
Yeah, that would work good.
There's a lot of neat things. Like this is one of these things where for a hot minute, it was that one thing, I liked the idea of doing, so I did a ton of research on it, but then never executed it. I don't own one single trap.
No.
But I know enough about it to be dangerous.
Makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
That's
different.
That's your MO, though.
Yeah, just doing a bunch of research and figuring stuff out and then not doing anything with it.
No, I mean, you have your, like a raccoon, you have your hand in everything. Like a trash panda.
Yep.
Sounds like a new nickname.
I was thinking the same thing.
Hey, TP.
We'll stick with what we have right now.
I got too many. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
But I'm not surprised that you do know a little bit about this.
But and Aaron, there are ways that you can avoid, trying to trap, a non-target species like a dog, excuse me, or a cat. Like there's ways that you set the traps and where you're placing them also, unless you've got like feral dogs in the area, chances are maybe, somebody's walking their dog, gets off the leash and runs across the middle of the field, but chances are you're not catching non-target species when you set most of these, right?
Yeah, last year, my first year, I didn't do as well location-wise. That's why I was catching a lot of raccoons and possums, and I was setting a little too close to creeks and wood edges, and like a lot of them areas, like if there's raccoons, you're going to go through some raccoons first. If there's a good population of raccoons there, because they basically eat the same thing, and they're not as smart. They don't rely on their sense of smell as much. Like you don't have to be real crazy with your scent, so you'll end up having to clear out quite a few coons first.
But all this adds up to good news for turkeys and fawns.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just like going back to what you said, not only could you sell them if the fur values were high and and you were real into it and had a big line and you had a lot of traps, not only could you make money, but like it's something to do during the off season when deer goes out and when everything else goes out. And like you just said, also that it improves your woodsmanship, definitely. Bar none.
So, Aaron, if you watch those Alaska TV shows and the other mountain men type TV shows on TV, you see these guys with running mile-long trap sets or a couple mile-long trap sets that take them all day to check. Is there that level of this sport in our area?
Oh, absolutely.
Is there?
Yeah, you don't have to go very, very far in the past. There was red foxes going for $60 at one point. Like you could make some serious money if you had the skill. For sure. It just all depends on your drive. If you had the gas money and the drive, and you can, in the traps, you can set some serious. A lot of properties, a lot of traps, and you're gonna have a lot of catches.
We should talk catfishing doing this.
When they ain't worth anything, you're just not gonna find very many people with that drive when they're not worth anything. Then you end up, you're spending gas money. You're spending. When it costs $25 to tan a coyote and it's selling for $27, what's the point? If you're not keeping it for yourself or just doing it for enjoyment, you're spending more money getting it tanned and doing the process and the bait than you're ever going to get for it.
Well, see, and I was going to, again, when I was researching this, because it was one of these things I was going to start doing, I was looking to take it to that level where I was buying the stretchers and all this stuff, and I'm going to flesh them out myself.
Really? And
put them on the stretching boards, and then, I'm going to bag them up to the NAFTA, whatever. I think it is NAFTA. I'm not kidding. I think it is. But, I was going to send them out. I was going to make not a lot of money, but I was going to make some money enough to justify the purchase of the traps and keeping up the upkeep with them.
So you were going to be a one-stop.
Yeah,
one-stop shop.
I almost had like a fleshing knife and everything.
No kidding.
Yep.
Boy,
I was really close.
I have a skinner and a fleshing knife. And again, it just kind of adds up to. We like to hunt turkeys. We like to hunt deer. This, without a doubt, improves the habitat for the deer, for the turkeys.
For sure.
Less pressure, all around.
You're putting another check and balance in place. Some of these predators, the coyote, for example, they don't have a lot of natural predators of their own. So we gotta step back in and trap them.
One thing I kind of heard you can never like just keep up with the rates, but I think that you can offset.
Oh yeah, I
The
forget
rates
who.
of breeding.
So we had somebody on, and they said, you can't justify trapping or predator hunting. You can't use trying to save the deer and the turkey as a justification for doing it because you're not going to be able to take enough of them in a year to really do anything to control the population.
Sure,
but that's only if nobody's doing it.
Right.
The more people that are doing it, then the more impact you're having on those numbers. And it's honestly, in my opinion, and this was the other thing that I thought was cool about it when I was looking into it, this is like an art form that's dying. It's knowledge that unless you go in and you find one of these books like Aaron was talking about, or watch YouTube videos like I did, unless you actually go out and look for it, it's not being handed down anymore.
Sure.
Yeah, it's pretty sad too, because I mean, like you said, it helps. It helps in every way. I mean, all them animals eat turkey eggs. They would all eat poults of game birds. And most of them, I mean, besides like the possum, even a big boar coon could probably eat a newborn fawn. I wouldn't doubt that at all. I've seen them eat rabbits.
Yeah, I've heard
rabbit.
that they'll take the bigger, the double Xers or 4Xers or whatever. Yeah, no, they're absolutely gonna snack on a fawn.
Not to mention that any of them species also carries rabies, and so you're also controlling rabies and other diseases.
Yeah.
But areas that don't get trapped a lot and have overabundance of coons, they all get worms. They'll get really, really bad worms. So it's a way to even make the animals you don't want make the population healthier. I mean, you still want healthy animals, even if you don't want the animals there.
Sure. I saw the other day you've been able to get out and get on some hard water.
I actually have a tournament on Lake Arthur this Saturday, so I was out a day or so ago to practice. I just wanted to make sure all the gear was working. I mean, like I said, I haven't been ice fishing in 3 years, so I had to check the Vexilar, check out my shanty, make sure I didn't need to change lines on the poles or tip-ups, and just basically went to, get out of the house. I know Sam wanted to go. So she beat me in fishing. I mean, of course, she got 4 bluegills and a perch, and I didn't catch anything. But it was nice to make sure all the equipment was working.
None of this surprises us.
No, we would have guessed that, actually. I'm just surprised she didn't let you, take a picture with something.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, she was a fish hog, a pitcher hog. I was just there to drag the shanty, I guess.
Hey, we all got to be good at something, bud.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, if the snowshoe fits, bud.
Now, that's actually something that I've never done.
Never.
And I've never had an interest in until very recently. Like, you guys also had some hard water fishing experiences here recently, and just the discussions of it.
As soon as humanly possible.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be into it. It's cold, man.
You just try it once.
It's cold.
You forget.
I mean, there's still an opportunity for me to fill a deer tag, which I have not been able to successfully do this year. I still have a chance to do that, but it's just too cold, man.
Yeah.
And to go stand on top of ice while being that cold, I don't know if I can swing it.
Wow.
I need Aaron to drag me a shanty out.
Wow.
You would be surprised how warm you are in a shanty. When you're in that shanty and you got your Mr. Buddy heater cranking out on high, I take my coat off. It gets very warm.
Well, see, I'm going to go with you then, because I don't think these guys use one.
Phil has one. He has one.
What are we, millionaires?
You gotta have a shanty.
So, what do you? How do you dress, Aaron? What do you wear when you're ice fishing? I'm kind of interested to hear how you layer up.
Well, I still start with thermals. I wear either a sweatpant or a bibs, and I still wear a shirt and a plaid, another layer. I'll still wear a heavy coat too, because you still got to pull the shanty out. You got to set up all the tip ups if you're fishing with tip ups. You got to set up the shanty.
I mean, there's still a lot of times where you're out of the shanty, so you definitely still want to dress warm. But then the nice thing is, once I'm in there and settle down, I'm actually jigging or using the panfish rods. I can take them bibs off and take that jacket off, and I can hang them up and just, then I can use the heater and stay warm that way.
So,
and if I want to, I can throw that stuff back on, and definitely throw it back on for when you're packing up to leave, because it can. If you fish till dark, you get a lot colder.
So here's a question I got about a shanty.
You have a lot of questions.
Yeah, but there's this one. I've been waiting to ask somebody this. So I've never ice fished out of a shanty, and I move around a lot when I ice fish.
I've had a summer shanty.
Just
line and kugels. It wasn't very good.
Oh, I love
That's all right. Yeah,
that's a
line and
shandy.
kugels. Yeah,
that's shandy, bud.
Oh,
Shandy.
That's
it was
spelled-
relatable.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So, once you set that shanty up, what do you? Are you stuck there? I mean, or how often? So you drill the hole, set the shanty up, and that's it. You just fish out of that hole, and if you don't, if you're not marking fish, you just. Do you move it around? I mean, is it a lot of work to move that thing around? And you anchor? Like, how does that work? Give me the rundown on that, bud.
How about letting him answer?
Go ahead.
When I first got into it, I bought one. I bought a Clam 2000. I mean, this is back in the day. It was like a semi pop-up. It almost kind of looked like my turkey blind, but it had like a hard plastic floor. I fished out that for a lot of years, and it was pretty annoying if your holes weren't good and you wanted to move and you had to kind of repack it up. But what really the changing day of my life was on Pontoon. I was trying to buy me some walleye, and the wind picked up horribly.
Yeah.
And I did not know that they made like spike screw-in like tie downs for them. Well, all of a sudden I'm in mid jig and my holes are gone, and I'm going like 40 miles an hour down the lake.
What?
It was like a sailboat. Oh yeah. that was the last day of that. It was in the garbage that week. So I built mine. I found plans and built
Hold
mine
on a second.
way better.
There goes Aaron.
Oh yeah, I mean like right now, like my lure was still in the hole.
40 miles an hour.
I think I saw that movie.
Oh, yeah,
Gone with the Wind.
I didn't know if I was going to be able to stop it.
How do you stop it when you're on ice?
Panic.
Oh, geez.
Bless your heart.
That's
you
pretty good.
just got to find a zipper and jump out, I guess. Got bail.
Yeah,
Tuck and roll.
I opened the zipper door. I had my foot slammed, trying to stop it, slow it down, friction, something. It just wasn't having it. It was still going.
No,
I really had to wait till the wind stopped, and then that's definitely the time I said, "Oh, time to go."
Yeah.
Now, when you came,
Packed it up right then and there.
when you emerged from that, though, did you look around just to see if anybody saw it?
I looked around enough to see the boat launch, and that was it. And I never looked back, and I was out of there.
Oh, man.
It was pretty frightening.
I bet.
nothing to see here.
I bet. Oh, jeez. So then you got rid of the Clam 2000, and then what'd you do?
Yeah.
You said you built one?
I found plans on the internet, and I built my own, and it was the best thing I've ever done. It's really heavy, so it can't be blown away. It's awesome. I made it with it kind of looks like a mailbox, actually. We got to make fun of it that it's a mailbox. But it's got plywood front with a window and a door. And
is that
plywood back.
M-A-L-E?
M-A-L-E box? A mail?
No, like a mailbox. Like
Oh.
M-A-I-L.
Oh.
Just checking.
Like the little red flag mailbox. It looks just like it. It's the exact shape. It opens like the front is like, I mean, it doesn't open like a mailbox opens, but like the front has the door.
It's got a drawbridge.
The walls are a dark brown tarp, which is really awesome because
instead of the blue that the Clam 2000 was,
Yeah.
it didn't do anything for you. If you use a black or a gray or a dark brown on sunny days, it heats it up just without the heater. It increases the temperature pretty significantly just in the dark cloth.
Yeah, that's fun.
When you get out on the lake, how many holes do you typically drill? Just, to start the day out.
I just got panfish rods, and I plan on staying in the shanty and just, jigging for panfish.
In the mailbox.
I'll drill 2 in the mailbox. If I'm taking tip-ups out, you can have 5 total. You can have 5 total instruments of fishing. So you can either have 5 tip-ups, or you can have 4 tip-ups and 1 jig pole. So if I'm out for like muskie or pike and I'm running tip-ups, I'll take out 5 tip-ups. So I'm definitely gonna drill 5 holes for those. And I have a 10-inch gas-powered auger that I use for tip-up. And I have a 6-inch hand auger for jigging the panfish, because you need the bigger hole to get the bigger fish through.
Yeah.
So you can do. Sometimes I do like a big X or a cross, or sometimes I'll do like a big check. I'll start like shallower. Like the beginning of my check mark will be like the shallowest, and then I'll check it out deeper. Like try to increase depth just to try to find out where they're at.
You should make a big A.
Try that next time. Yeah.
For Aaron.
Just for you.
So I've always wondered, does it really pay to drill? There has to be a point where there's diminishing returns on how many holes you drill. So do you want to? If you drill 100 holes, are you really going to catch that many more fish than if you just drilled 10?
In ways, I agree with you, because obviously, if you pound a bay with enough holes, you're going to just scare all the fish anyways.
Okay.
And you're probably not going to catch.
Okay.
But there is a point where, well, this counts for any kind of fishing, but there's a fine line between fishing and standing on the shore like an idiot.
Yeah.
So if you drill 2 holes and there ain't no fish there, it doesn't matter how long you
I'm very familiar with that concept.
The idiot.
The standing on the shore like an idiot.
The standing idiot.
Is there a point in the hole drilling where you've perhaps compromised the integrity of the surface on which you're standing?
Excellent question, Ryan.
I would say no. I mean, if it's good ice, it's good ice. I don't really think there's a point. I mean, if you're drilling them touching and you go...
You're cutting
you make a big
the
circle.
lake in half.
You just make a big circle around the outside.
A whole circle around you, and you're in the circle, and you touch holes. I don't think that's like a really good idea.
Cutting holes.
That's what you mean. But if you want to,
I'm gonna need a diagram.
You can look up one picture.
Talk about diminishing returns.
That'll answer your question. Look up the Eel Pout Festival, and you'll get back to me and say there's no way.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's what
millions. There's like thousands of people.
Yeah, they're only like 6 feet apart or something like that, aren't they? That's the big tournament where they pay.
See the ice. It's all people and shanties.
That's right.
It's crazy.
How thick is that ice during that tournament? That's got to be a foot or so, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you go out west like that, northwest, like they don't have shanties. They have like semi-permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know much about. They're almost like cabins.
Kitchens, bunk beds, yeah.
The whole deal. Oh yeah. They have everything. So I mean, I've seen some with satellite TV. They watch TV and have recliners. And
that's what I'm talking
about.
Like Carrie Zilka,
that's what I'm talking about.
They spear the sturgeon, and it's like they cut out like barn doors.
Yeah.
Or not barn doors.
Yeah, I've seen them. I've seen them
screen doors.
I've seen them spear pike too.
Oh,
is that?
I don't think.
Who does that? I mean, is that legal anywhere?
Definitely not in Pennsylvania, but obviously I've seen a lot of people make videos doing it. It's pretty neat. Instead of like drilling a hole, they use like a chainsaw and they cut a big square.
Yeah.
And they use a decoy fish or lure, I guess. Almost like instead of you jigging something small like a lure on a pole, they use their hand, and it's like a pretty thicker, like a rope or something. And they make these
pretty elaborate wooden, like, fake fish. They're like gliders. They're pretty big, and that's how they attract them. They just keep pulling it up and down, and it like makes these real nice figure eights and stuff. And then when the pike comes in, they can actually see it like staring down the decoy, and then they stab it with a spear. It's pretty intense. It's pretty cool.
We got a little bit of a glimpse into that world when we interviewed Carrie Zoka. She sent us a picture of her sturgeon decoy. It's pink.
Yeah.
It's like this
Hot pink looking chick sturgeon.
We said that her sturgeon decoy brings all the boys to the yard.
So, have you ever thought about building a mailbox with bunk beds inside it and satellite TV?
I don't have the carpentry skills for that. This is a very basic operation I run here.
we typically don't get the ice that we would need to have a mailbox.
Yeah, they're pulling them things out with their trucks, with their like 4x4 trucks and stuff. So they get feet of ice. We get inches, they get feet.
I wonder if my Accord could pull one of those.
They got to get like auger extensions. They put like 3 augers together to get through it all.
That's work.
Now, see, maybe if we had ice like that, I'd be comfortable with it. My concern truly is like the safety of it all. Like,
you'd have to call Harry.
I won't even go ice skating on like farm ponds around here. Well, this year I probably would. But there's been years where people are like, "Oh, come on, we're gonna go play some hockey." I love playing some hockey, but no, I'll go up to the rink and pay the $10 for the stick and puck game
because
and
it's
get
3
in.
inches.
Well,
holy cow!
And when I fall through 3 inches of ice at a rink,
it's concrete.
Yeah, I can swim in that.
Yeah, but $10, man. That seems kind of
What
steep.
are we, millionaires?
I think when you have ice that deep, you have to call like Harry Sanford, from what's the movie with Ben Affleck and Liv Tyler?
Armageddon?
Yeah.
Oh.
Call them to throw you a hole.
You're just trying to get me to sing and leaving on a jet plane, aren't you?
No,
What was that
You don't
song?
want to close your eyes.
Don't want to miss a thing.
You want to fall asleep. I still miss you, baby.
How do we get there?
Well, I'm just saying, drilling holes like
there
that,
we
you
go,
need a team with a.
Yeah. So this tournament you got coming up, that's this Saturday, right?
Yeah, this Saturday on Lake Arthur.
So
Did
what's
you
that
get
all
an
about?
invite? For
I
that?
didn't. No, I thought it was invitational, but it must be an open tournament.
Yeah, it's open to anybody.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't remember being told about it from you or.
Yeah, what's up with that, bud?
I posted it everywhere.
Not on our
I
Facebook.
posted the whole series. The series schedule.
This is what, 3 tournaments? Or 4?
I think it's 4.
Is it?
I think it's Arthur, Edinburgh, Kale, and Prescott.
Okay. What are the
rules? Catch fish.
Catch fish.
I know it's a panfish only ice fishing tournament.
Like
you can
perch,
fish
bluegill?
as an individual, or you can fish as a team, a 2-person team.
Okay.
And it's your 10 best panfish by weight, and that would include bluegill, perch, and crappie.
And so this is a 4-event tournament. So is it over the 4 different, your combined weight over the 4 different lakes? Or is there awards for each lake?
I think it's individual events, and then those are for points, and I think the points carry over, so it's like a point system.
That's cool. Have you fished this tournament
awesome.
before?
I have not.
No.
I don't believe they've had a full season yet because we haven't had the ice.
I'll tell you, this is the best year so
they may
far.
Have they may have got their original season in, and then I know since I have found out about the series, it hasn't had a full season because of ice problems.
Well,
so this will be the first season.
So when did you get out? They said 2 days ago or 3 days ago?
Can't really remember what day it was. I think it was Sunday.
How thick was the ice where you were then?
It varied from 3 to 5. Most of the holes would get good, clear 5 inches. And then this one hole I checked was a little thinner. It was like 3 inches, but it looked different too. Like there wasn't a lot of snow in that part of it. It can fluctuate like a lot. That's why they tell you to take a spud bar and kind of
Sure.
be cautious. But I knew it was safe enough.
So the general rule. The general rule is what, like 4 inches for a person, an average guy in his gear. And what's been your experience with that, Aaron? 'Cause I know
I won't go under. I can't say that. I've probably been on 2.5. I was gonna say,
really.
Generally, I won't go under 3 inches. Okay. I like 3 inches. And if it's as long as it's the type ice. If it's good, clear, dark ice, I mean that's really good. That's good ice. If it's bubbly and crusty, and I mean
crunchy.
that's not good.
Bubbly. That sounds like good pizza.
Bubbly and crunchy.
Yeah, bubbly and crusty.
Under 3 inches.
Yeah. Ooh. Thick crust. Sausage, pepperoni.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like
An hour ago you weren't hungry.
I'm getting hungry now.
All right.
There's a little bit of Stromboli
Aaron
up
starts
there.
talking about all this
Up in the
pizza
R2 lunchroom.
What's your favorite bait lure setup for panfish? You mind sharing that with us?
I mean, you don't have to going into your tournament series.
Or you could just you could just tell me
Rooster
offline.
tails.
Rooster tails.
Nothing but rooster tails.
Whopper ploppers vertically jigged.
For the tip ups, it's without a doubt golden shiners. I like to find the biggest ones I can find. You can find like 5 or 6 inch golden shiners. Those are the best tip up baits.
No kidding.
I've
that
caught
big?
Huge bass. Oh yeah, I've caught huge bass, big pike. I've actually caught the biggest crappie I ever caught in my life was on a tip up with a big golden shiner.
Get out.
Oh yeah, they're greedy. Fish are greedy.
Yeah. Yeah.
For panfish jigging, I almost always use maggots. I really like maggots. I'll either use them on a little teardrop jigs, or those like frosty spoons. Trying to think of the name of the other one that I really like. It's the forage minnows. The forage minnows are awesome too. I usually take like 2 to 3 laps.
Is any of this stuff on your radar?
Yeah.
He's writing all of it down.
I got it all. Don't worry. We got it. We got it. So how leader shy do you find to be this, those bigger fish that you're using with the 5 and 6 inch golden shiners? Are you using a light line with that on the tip ups, or is that more of a, I know everybody's got a different theory on that, but what's been your experience?
It's pretty heavy. My main line is a nylon. It's almost like a braid.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hold water as much as a braid would. The water runs off it pretty good. It doesn't soak it up. I run that to. I've actually experimented with a couple of different kinds of leaders. I have really heavy fluoro. I have I think it's like a 50 or 60 pound fluoro leader with a treble. Then I got your classic steel leader. I got like a black steel leader on one, and then I really kind of I got these red ones. They're red steel, but they got like a little blade on them and a little bead, and the blade that has like a little fish scale pattern. They're kind of cool. So I know I don't jig them or anything because they're sitting still, but when that shiner swims around real erratic, it spins that little blade, and it's kind of just like a little extra flash and a little extra attractant. It's pretty cool. I'm
doing it all wrong. I've been using 10-pound fluorocarbon. Sounds like I need to up my game a little here.
Yeah. I mean, you could land them with that. It's just them teethy ones like pickerels, muskies, pike. I mean, they're so good at snapping them up.
Have you caught pike through the ice, or muskie rather?
I've never caught a muskie through the ice. It's one of my goals. I've been trying to do it for, a couple seasons now. I'm not very good at it. I think I've had some on. I used to not use leaders, and I think I've lost a couple muskies, and that's why I use them now.
But always treble hook.
I have caught pike, plenty of pike.
Plenty of pike.
Plenty of pike.
Where do we have pike? Is it up north? Do we have to go up
Plenty.
north?
We can
On
go
the,
to
a great northern pike ice fishing lake.
That's why they call them Northern Pike, buddy. You gotta go north.
Gotta
for
go
'em.
north.
Northern PA.
Northern PA. Yeah.
Again, I just don't remember being invited for any of this.
No.
You know, I heard you say you caught some bass through the ice. I've been seeing some guys on Instagram catching bass through the ice, and I think it's just for us. We get all these panfish, crappies, perch.
Yeah.
Like it's just they're just so hot in the winter. You hardly ever see bass being caught.
You gotta drill the hole over structure.
Is that
That's
it?
what I heard. I made that up.
Definitely some weeds. I catch a lot of bass on Sugar Lake. That's my favorite place to target bass through the ice. There's lots of coontail, and there's lots of lily pads. You just want to be right on the edge. If you drill a hole and you're in that stuff, just keep drilling until you're right on the edge. And I like to set a lot of tip hooks on that edge. So you work that edge just like they do when there's no ice.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Gotcha.
Cool. So I saw, looks like Trapper Tackle has come out with a line of ice fishing jigs now, huh?
Yeah, those are really cool. Most of that stuff's like custom right now.
Is it?
So there are other smaller businesses that are buying the hooks and then making them.
Okay.
Just like them swing jigs by Blue Rock Custom Tackle that I really like.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a guy just showed me from our team there that he's getting them made, and I said I got to order me some of them. They are looking pretty sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll have to let us know how they work out for you. So that's not something you can go on Amazon or something right now and buy. They're custom made.
Yeah,
Made to
so
order.
far it's just, there's only actually one guy that I know that's making them right now, but I'm sure with the pictures out, I'm sure anybody that gets into that kind of stuff, those are made with the drop shot hook, the number 4 drop shots.
Okay.
So if somebody ordered them, they could make them. But those were really nice looking ones. They look like you can buy them anywhere, like a Bass Pro or whatever. They're really high quality.
I just ordered 4 dozen from Taiwan off
You
Amazon
did.
earlier today.
Just they got to clear customs.
Yeah.
Hopefully they get here till the ice still.
They're made to order, bud.
Yeah.
Like a Sheets meatball sub.
All right, this is a question now that you brought up sheets.
Yeah.
Finally.
How do you order your sheets dogs? This is like really important. Like a man's sheets dog order is like, that's how you really read a guy. So I need to know.
All right, I'll go first.
You go ahead, bud.
I get 3: mustard, ketchup, relish, and sauerkraut.
Like a good German boy.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's got to be 3, and I got to make sure I have like some chewing gum or lifesavers. Or
He likes prime numbers.
in the car after. Yeah.
For sure.
It has to be an odd number because I just can't deal with an even number of hot dogs at lunchtime. Don't ask why.
It doesn't
Always
sit
has
well,
been. Yeah.
Then you're kind of screwing yourself on the deal. Like it's 2 for $1.
They know me. They give me the deal on.
They sell them 4, but only give them 3.
I know a guy.
He name drops.
What about you, Ryan? How do you order your Sheets dogs?
I have never had a hot dog.
You can tell a lot about a man
Yeah.
who's never had it.
I'm just not respect for you.
I lost respect for myself as soon as you asked it.
Bless his heart.
No, if I was to order a hot dog,
I don't know if that even counts.
it would have.
You can't imagine yourself ordering a Sheets hot dog.
Well,
We'll play along. Go ahead.
maybe some chili
Good luck
or a
with
meat
this.
sauce on top and some
Okay.
There you go.
some cheese whizzy type melted cheese.
All right.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm going with the meat and cheese combo.
That's all right.
Yeah. Sloppy Joe.
You gained all your points. You gained all your points back because that's basically my sheepdog. I always get two. I get 2 for $1 special. I get chili, ketchup, and the nacho cheese.
There it is.
Good stuff.
There you
The chili has the ketchup in it already, though.
He likes double ketchup.
I still gotta have ketchup.
It doesn't taste like ketchup unless you put ketchup on it. But you wouldn't know.
Well, good.
You would have no clue.
I picked well then.
Yeah. You get hot dogs much from Sheets? Well,
I used to get them so much more whenever I was younger because they stick around.
For hours.
It's like it's kind of like a.
It's not a bad thing though.
We call it a Pennsylvania gyro. It sticks around. You can taste it for a little bit. Yeah, it's burps and whatnot. Anyway, I wouldn't mind just very similar to my cousin. Stevie would be ketchup, mustard, and I would add bacon.
Then extra onion.
No, 0, 1 less than 1 onion.
Yeah, I don't do onions.
0 onions.
Yeah.
Do not.
Bacon on a hot dog.
Oh, that'd be good.
Never had it.
Try it.
No, it's good.
I wouldn't kick it out of
used
bed.
To be, that was my old choice back in the day. When I was a little younger, it was
Before you grew up.
ketchup. Yeah, it was ketchup. This is kind of weird. It was ketchup, mayonnaise, and bacon.
That's
There's
like a
nothing.
BLT.
There's nothing weird about ketchup and mayonnaise together. They make a wonderful combination.
Okay,
Fancy
good.
sauce.
I don't know. I always thought that I was a weirdo.
No, you're cool.
You're cool, bud.
Ketchup and mayonnaise together is the best
It's
dipping
good.
sauce for anything that could be dipped.
So for lunch today,
Oh,
I
that's
had
fancy sauce.
So,
Fish. Oh, yeah.
so creamy.
I had burger sliders from Sheets, and guess how many I ordered?
3.
3.
Oh, that's easy.
3, obviously. That goes without saying. But it had mayonnaise and ketchup on it.
Oh, it's the best combination.
Yeah.
For my arteries.
Tell me about it.
Is your favorite meal the Los Trios from Applebee's?
No. I don't eat at Applebee's.
He doesn't even know what that means.
That sounds
Applebee's?
expensive.
What are
I don't eat in Mexican restaurants very often.
No, everything's in 3s. You would love it.
It's the trio.
You said Los or something.
It stands for the
3.
The 3s.
Oh. No, I haven't had that.
You'd be in heaven. You
Yeah,
can
I
get
probably
3
would.
sliders. You can get
It's Spanish
You get 3
for
little
the
pockets.
trios.
Oh,
Trios.
oh, the trio. Okay, I got you now. We don't eat Mexican very often in Chambersburg.
How many times a week do you eat a stromboli?
3.
3 times.
3 strombolis a week.
Every other day.
I love stromboli.
Thursdays is definitely, and then normally like a Monday, Tuesday, and probably on the weekend. You know.
It's impressive. Bud.
Yeah. That's how I roll.
I'm really hungry now. This is a terrible idea.
You should have been in studio. You could have had some sea duck and stromboli tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Yeah, we had sea duck with a stromboli chaser.
some kind of chicken and rice, something or other Leanna made.
She made something.
So full.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
No,
well,
wait a minute. I gotta ask this now.
All right.
All right. Sea ducks. Okay, mallard and wood duck, delicious because they're like dabblers and eat like duckweed or. But like nobody eats divers because like the McGanzers and stuff because they eat fish. What is a sea duck? Where is the sea duck rating on the taste here?
Didn't bother me at all. I loved it.
I've heard bad things about them, but it tasted delicious tonight. It was a close second to the stromboli tonight.
Yeah,
Nice.
I mean, I prefer on it. If I had my druthers, I would eat mallard. You know, it's a little bit more milder, but it's if I had to say it, I mean, it's a really, really dark, rich, irony kind of meat.
You had yours more on the rare side, though.
So says you, bud.
And mine was more of a well done, and I enjoyed it. I didn't like the rare duck, but I did like.
But I'm just saying,
well done.
It was more like a borderline liver. You know, It did.
At first, when you said that, I thought you were referring to maybe texture, but then I took a bigger bite and I got a little bit of that.
Yeah, back of the back.
Hint.
I mean, it kind of just it's just a really, really, I don't know. I can't really describe it because it's not like anything.
The meat that was cooked more fully didn't have that. I didn't get that livery taste like it did from the
Well, I also wouldn't think that's a bad thing necessarily.
And then
No.
up front,
I was
I
quite
think
surprised.
up front, and I don't know, there was two different types of ducks. There was the white wing and there was the common scoter. And but one of the ones I kind of had an up front that was like a little bit fishy, kind of, the saltwater, eating fish and clams and whatever. But
What does sea duck eat?
they eat the
3 hot dogs from Sheets.
Strombolis 4 times a week. Sea Strombolis. No, but they're eating fish. They're eating clams and they're eating crustaceans. A lot of crabs and
Yeah, I would think.
different things like they just eat whatever. They're beasts. But
Sea beasts.
Sea beasts, flying sea beasts.
Yeah.
They're awesome. I was really, man, and they fast, dude. If you know how like the wood ducks fly and stuff like that. These things are just wicked. They cover so much ground. And you look at them, you see them pop up. They're forever away, and because you're out in the ocean, there's not a lot of structure. The kind of, so you see them for a while, but it's like no time at all till they're on top of you, or gone, or just gone. Yeah,
They go.
they go.
There you go.
Yeah, they go.
So, we're bumping up on time. I feel like we could just keep rolling because
Yeah.
it's just having Aaron.
It's always that way with the Ohls, isn't it?
Yeah,
It really is.
but we've tried to have you on the show before. I guess your boy got a buck that day, just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. I was supposed to be on the Christmas special, and yeah, he got his first buck ever, and it was a pretty dang good one.
Yeah, it was.
Tell you, this kid is a slick. His first turkey hunt, he gets an 8.5-inch bearded gobbler. I hunted for, I think, 2 or 3 years before I got a gobbler. I shot a lot of jakes. I shot a lot of jakes after that. Then he goes on his first squirrel hunt and shoots a black squirrel.
Oh, wow.
And now every time he's like, "Dad, let's go black squirrel hunting." I was like, "Cheaper, you don't go black squirrel hunting, okay? That's not how that works, okay?" I've hunted my whole life and finally got one at like 30. I was like, "You don't go black squirrel hunting." The expansion don't say that.
Well, maybe that's why you don't get them, Aaron.
That's true.
I know. I've been going great squirrel hunting my whole life. I've been doing this all wrong. And then he shoots a giant 6-point. And I'm like, and then it's like a month before that, he went on his first deer hunt. He went on that 3-day junior rifle hunt and shot a big doe. He's unstoppable.
That's awesome.
Cool.
It's great.
Cool.
And hopefully he can keep that pace up.
Yeah, keep it rolling.
But sometimes it's all downhill from there. But
That's what I'm saying. I'm kind of worried about that. Like, he's going to expect all this, like, Boston-ness every time. Like, man, like 90% of the time, it's, like, really sucky.
Well, I mean,
like, you're cold.
if he
and
talks
you
to
don't
you,
see
it's
anything.
90%. If he talks to your wife, it's
Yeah.
like 70% of the time.
Yeah. I just hope he's not spoiled for life. That's all I'm hoping.
I like it. Aaron, it was great, man. Thank you so much again for just picking up Phil's slack.
Yeah.
And sitting
did great.
Fitting right
for
in
us.
with us.
Yeah.
It's great to have you. We're going to have you in studio or something here.
We got to get out in the woods.
Or maybe we can get invited to a tournament or something.
something.
Yeah. Aaron, I do.
They're invited to all of them, all 4 of them.
Oh, okay.
We do really appreciate Aaron. Not a lot of people a lot of guests are really willing to go into the level of detail on what specifically works for them. And we do appreciate you sharing a lot of that information with us, because it is, we're not just about sharing experiences, but it's about helping people get better, in the outdoors and having a better time and a higher success rate. And you certainly contribute to that, with us at least. So I appreciate the wealth of knowledge that you bring.
Absolutely.
You and Samantha bring every time you join us.
So I'm gonna go buy a bunch of traps, and Aaron's gonna come out and set them for me.
Exactly.
And
seems fair.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's the next step, for you. I watched some videos.
Or maybe Aaron could just bring some traps with him.
Yeah.
And
Even
come out
better.
here and set them for me.
And then
There we
Just
go.
leave them here.
We'll buy a food.
That'll work.
you set them, I'll check them.
All right, hey Aaron, good luck at your tournament this weekend. Keep us posted on how you do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Definitely let you know how I'll get.
And Aaron, one more time real quick for anybody who doesn't already do it. Where can folks find you online? What's the best way to keep up with you and all the old activity?
We all have our personal pages. You can look us up. Then we have the Keystone Outdoors Facebook page, which would just be facebook.com/Keystone Outdoors. We're on Instagram at Keystone Outdoors. You can also find us. Our website is www.keystone-outdoors.com, and that actually one of the pages has all the links for all the other social media, in case you forget. So that's
Awesome.
where we're at.
Cool, that's the one to go to then. All right, thank you very much, Aaron. We appreciate the time, bud.
Glad to be here.
Guys, where can they find us?
On Twitter and Instagram at R2 Pursuits.
Yeah.
On Facebook and YouTube, Rutten River Pursuits Podcast. Download the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play, or just listen to it through the Facebook link.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Aaron.
See ya.
Later,
Thanks for
guys.
having me, guys. Pleasure.
Take care.
Rig 'em weedless.
For a hot minute, it was that one thing, I liked the idea of doing, so I did a ton of research on it, but then never executed it. I don't own one single trap,
No.
but I know enough about it to be dangerous.
Makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
That's like
This is different.
That's your MO though. Like you.
Yeah, just doing a bunch of research and figuring stuff out,
Yeah.
and then not doing anything with it.
No. I mean, you have your like a raccoon. You have your hand in everything. Like a trash panda.
Yep.
Sounds like a new nickname.
I was thinking the same thing.
Only one thing to do when the exhaust fan's not running, that's take it off and find out what's jamming it.
Oh my gosh.
Apparently.
It was a chipmunk.
Do they make that in a Glade scent? Toasted chipmunk?
Toasted chipmunk.
Is that a holiday flavor?
It's the holiday blend.
Limited time.
I like that.